our form of prayer called spiritual mind treatment. Our form of affirmative prayer, going to that place of that light and that love and that wisdom and that joy of spirit through and as all of its creation. There's no place where that one wisdom and power and joy of what I call God is not, from the tiniest atom to the farthest galaxy, continually creating creatures and oceans and planets and galaxies out of itself every single second of every infinite sacred day. It is all one. And that is who I am. And each one here is, and each one listening in on the internet is. That one in human form, in this sacred place, in this sacred time, as that light and that love and that joy and that wisdom of spirit right here and right now. And I'm knowing for this sacred time together that light and that love and that wisdom of spirit flows through and as each one here accountable to that higher vision of life. Absolutely allowing that higher vision of life to continue to expand, not only in each life here and listening in on the internet, but expanding from this place to this city, to this state, to this country, to this world, surrounding this world, and that light and that love and that energy of spirit just up-leveling the whole consciousness of the world just out of being here together in this sacred time and place. So I just gratefully accept this light and this love and this wisdom and this accountability to that greater vision as the truth of this sacred time together and for each one here, as I release this word to the law, knowing that it is now done in perfect joy and love and wisdom. And so it is. Amen.
Good morning, Seaside. Well, it is my honor, as it is every Sunday, to introduce our guest artists. And today we have just a wonderful spirit, wonderful soul here with us today. She drove all the way down with her 2 young children from Los Angeles to be here with us. And she has a CD. She has CDs with her if you are moved by her music. And not only is she a phenomenal singer, but she's also a successful actress. And we want to lift her up. And she has some wonderful meetings coming up this week. So let's send her some positive vibes and energy and prayers that she has successful meetings with some agents coming up to step up to that next level, which is where she wants to go. So we want to send that to her, send those positive vibes for her. But today, she's going to bless us with her beautiful voice. So without further ado, please help me welcome Bashira. Yes. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Hey!
So, as always, I'm so excited to be with you guys here at Seaside, and I'm gonna do an original song entitled "Don't You Forget God's Dream." Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, whoa, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, it's time to grow and spread my wings. The time is now. I can't wait any longer, and my journey's long, but I shall endure. Remember always what God put you here for. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't you forget God's dream. It's what we're meant to be. Don't you forget God's dream. Even when I'm seen no longer, and I will look back across the skies, across the sea, and I'll smile in your direction. I know you're smiling back at me. And there's one more you hear more? Yeah, 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 yeah. Don't you forget God's dream. It's what we're meant to be. Don't you forget God's dream. Even when I'm seeing no longer, yeah. Just a little bit more, yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't you forget God's name, no, no, no. Don't you forget it, don't you cry. God's right beside you, so just wipe your little eyes, baby. Yeah, 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 yeah. Come on to this side. Don't you forget it, don't you cry. God's right beside you, so just wipe your little eyes, baby, yeah, yeah. Can I just whisper to you one time? Don't you forget it. I won't forget it, no, 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 no. Don't you forget it. God's dream. Let me tell you one more time, yeah, yeah. Don't you forget it, don't you cry. God's right beside you, so just wipe your little eyes, baby, yeah, yeah. Come on. Don't you forget it. I won't forget it. Don't you forget it. God's dream. God's dream. Yeah, 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 yeah.
That is Brashira. God's dream made manifest. Oh my, oh my. What a joy. Thank you for sharing God's dream with us. Oh my. This song just feels so good listening to that. Oh wow. Okay. So here we are. This morning's God's dream. It's so perfect. And are you able to be accountable to that dream that the Spirit has placed inside of you? What are you doing with it? I mean, yesterday I was doing a talk in Kelowna, Canada. Absolutely spectacular, beautiful place. I didn't know there was such great country. I thought the most beautiful place was our spot in Big Fork, Montana. Largest lake west of the Mississippi we have, Flathead Lake, bigger than Lake Tahoe. Well, Kelowna has a lake that's twice the size of our lake. It's got these Rockies that are just green sloped into it, filled with over 200 vineyards and cherry trees and snow-capped mountains, thick pines. It's just truly spectacular. It was beautiful. So I was moved to share one of the recent environmental reports that came out from Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA. And because everybody there in Kelowna lives outside, it's so beautiful. EPA has put out this recent study, says that the overall population of America, that's like in general everyone, spends more than 90% of their time indoors. Yeah, I don't think it's that funny. I think it's a sad statement. But you know what? You talk to the kids, and they say they're not outside because there's no outlets, for them and their plugs. But we grew up, at least the baby boomer generation, probably the last that spent the majority of our time outside playing and having a good time. And as we were young adults, we put on the backpacks and maybe don't get out quite as much because the bum knees are back now. But really, what's really holding us back, I think, is we have gotten so involved with doing our life, being responsible for doing our life, that we forgot this month to touch a tree. People go months without touching a tree or seeing a wild animal outside of a cage, or submersing themselves under water other than that which comes out of a shower head. When was the last time you went in the ocean or in a lake? You don't have to answer that. But, people have just lost touch with the cycles of the moon that was full a couple nights ago, or the high tide, low tide, or they don't even walk on the ground. Walk on asphalt doesn't really count, or sidewalks, or linoleum in the grocery stores. It's like getting out there and getting your feet in the ground is so important. And the thing about nature is it holds us accountable because we remember. Don't you feel good when you're out there with spirit and you just feel the wind blowing against your face? You feel that connection with the infinite, the expansiveness. And it continues to remind us that's the state that we can be in all the time, even when we are doing our business or being responsible. And nature gets us back there. So I shared the story that with them about, I really work on getting Trevor outside. It's work, but once a year in Montana, I get him to stay in a tent out there. Used to be he got Dad to stay in the tent. Now he's a teen. It's Dad trying to get him to stay in the tent. And so we go to the farthest reaches of our extension cord on our front lawn. And, we pitch a tent. And a couple weeks ago when Callie was there, she sent back the pictures of the bear that was like at the bottom of our driveway, swimming in there. She wrote back a couple weeks later, I don't know if I shared, days later, that they got into a chicken coop. Did I share that with you? And went to the neighbor's house, they shot it. That's like, I know. And Kelowna did the same thing. But there they say, well, that's just Montana. But anyway, so Trevor and I, we're in the tent, we're watching our movie. And when the movie's over, it's still not dark, so it takes a little bit of chattering, which is good bonding. And eventually it gets dark, we go to sleep, and it's pitch black, and we're in the tent. And I hear this growl. And I wake up. I'm going to grab my flashlight. And then I remember how much my dog and my cat like chasing, like the little light from a flashlight. And I'm thinking the light on the canvas of the tent might be a very intriguing thing for a bear to check out. And there is just not much protection in that little piece of canvas between a bear's jowls and my face. And so I leave the light off, and I'm sitting there, and it's escalating inside of me. The attention, the energy, the heart, the blood, it's pumping, going. And I'm just trying to, it's going inside, the head's going. And all of a sudden, I hear the growl again, and I realize that it's my stomach from the bean soup I had. No. And it's just, look what our head can do to us. Our head runs off in these wild kinds of places and creates these scenarios that really have no reality to that. But that's why it's important to be mindful, or what I'd like to say, getting to the mountaintop so you can have this witness kind of consciousness, this ability to observe, look what your head's doing. You're not your head. You're the one who's watching those thoughts going through your mind and your consciousness. And what am I going to do here now that I'm noticing there's some extra energy going on? There's a story that I wrote about it in my book, Living from the Mountaintop. You've taken the class, you've heard it. It's about the Kodiak bear. Remember that one? Some of you. Okay, well, I'll tell you that. But there's this mythic legend of this just iconic Kodiak bear that's just enormous in stature and legend, and people who knew the lore, feared it. They were intrigued by it. They were awe-inspired. He was huge, just enormous. His paws the size of tree branches. His strength could just rip through granite. His hair was golden, glistening in the sunlight. And it is just said by the few that have ever encountered and lived to tell about it that it was just a life-changing thing. And the story goes that if you can rub the head of this Kodiak and live, that you would be changed forever and your life would be blessed. And nobody ever really would try to test that out. But one day, there was this one adventurous soul who read all the lore and decided that he was going to go attempt that. And so he went out into the back country of the Arctic Circle, where they said you could hear his growl through continents. And he hiked through the back country for seasons looking for this. He knew the day would come, and one day it did. And he was bent over, washing his face in the icy glacier-fed stream. And he looked up, and he looked into the eyes of this Bethman creature, this gigantic, enormous Kodiak bear. And in that moment, was he filled with fear? Would you be filled with fear? What would you do? You see, that's what it comes down to in our life. We do all this preparing. But in that moment, when you've got to make that final step, you've got to scratch the head of that bear. All that other stuff no longer matters if you don't take that final step and put your hand out and rub the head or the schnauz of that Kodiak. All the preparation, and all the research, and all the meditation, and all the healing doesn't count if you don't take that final step and apply it in your life, where it is of the greatest challenge to believe in the truth of your being and not the headlines or not the bank statements or not what the doctors say. Am I able to truly just hold on to that presence of God and knowing the truth when everything's not looking like it? I can't answer it, which is why I asked you, did he fear? Did you fear? But everything disappears in that moment, and all that is left is taking the final step. And can you take that? And I got some other news. Though you take that step today, it doesn't mean you're not going to face that Kodiak again. It doesn't mean that tomorrow or next month or next year you're going to be challenged to the core of your being to see if you've really got it inside of you, to take a look into the eyes of that which is making a difference. I got a chance this week, called yesterday. I was supposed to fly out of Kelowna at 2, get into Vancouver, catch an 8:15 plane home, be home by 11 to 12 at night, get here, and so I get to the airport, and they said, we've canceled your flight. I said, well, that doesn't work for me. I said, I've got all my friends going to hang out together this morning. They said, sorry, there's mechanical difficulties or storms, there's nothing we can do. I said, there's got to be something you can do. Is anybody else flying to San Diego? You can get me? They said, no, that's the last one out. It's Saturday. Nobody's going there. I said, what about L.A.? Can you fly me into L.A.? And they say, no, we can't. I said, can Calgary fly me into L.A.? And they said, sure, Calgary can fly you into L.A. You'll get in after midnight. And I figured, got to rent a car a couple hours down. That's like pretty late, but those vampire hours Rebecca does all the time. So she can do it every Sunday morning for you guys. I can too, so count me in. And so it took off, and we flew into Calgary, and it was just wild storms. It was pouring rain. We bounced through the sky like a pinball. And, we landed in there, and I thought, I'm just going to go check. Maybe there is a flight into San Diego. And I went. There was no flight into San Diego. But the guy said, you know what? Divine providence is yours. And this guy is wearing a turban, and his name is Sonny. And I don't know if it was true or if it was my vision, but Sonny, who is wearing a turban, tells me divine providence has set in. The earlier flight that flies into Vancouver has been delayed because of the storms, and it isn't here yet, but it should be here in the next 10 or 15 minutes. It should take 30 minutes to turn it around, and if you get out by 6:45, you'll make it there in time. If it's 7 o'clock, you got to go on your LA flight because you'll never make it through customs and security and all that. So here I am. The flight arrives, and as everything's looking good, and all of a sudden it's taken longer, and now it's 6:45. And now he said, this is the time I need to check into LA. And now, but they're starting to let us on. Do I go? Don't I go? And I'm remembering the story of the Kodiak. I just told this story. Am I able to believe in the midst of the challenge, to rub this guy's head? Am I going to get on this plane, and I've got this anxiety, just like I'm sleeping in the tent, and my head's doing these stories about there's bears out there. Am I going to believe? I told everybody. I said, I'm going for it. So I get on the plane, and it's a big plane, and they're loading very slowly, little by little. And, they had been sold out, but a lot of people left it, which is why I got a seat. He gave me a seat in the business class. It was nice, so I got to watch everybody pass me. So they closed the door. It's 7 o'clock. It's close. I used up 15 minutes of the hour on the other side, but it's okay. But then he pulls out, and we sit on the tarmac because it's pouring rain. They've closed all the runways but one because of the winds, and there's only one we could take off in. And so we take off, and it's 7:30, and so it's clear. I'm not going to make it. And I'm saying, do I believe? And I rub the head of this Kodiak. I'm going to believe this. Spirit's going to hold me accountable. Am I going to just freak out and ruin this hour and 20-minute trip into Vancouver? Or am I going to believe? And I say, you know what? There's nothing I can do about it at this point. So I said, okay, I just relax me, pull into Vancouver. No way I can make it, but I act like I can. It's like almost 8 o'clock, and I'm pulling the run through the airport with my tag-along guy. And then they make you go outside to get in the U.S. and go through the U.S. security there because they check you there. And so I'm through security. Now they decide they want to do customs there. They got the whole customs for the U.S. in Vancouver. What are they thinking? But anyway, I got to do that. So now it's time, and I'm running the best I can. And that's on the other side of the airport. It's a big airport. And it just so happens the flight crew for that plane also got delayed by the weather, and they were 10 or 15 minutes late, which was enough time to allow me to slip on in and make it. And it was, but it was just life holding me accountable. Am I able to really believe that in the toughest of situations, I'm going to believe Spirit has an answer here because my answers ran out. But the flight attendants happened to be late. It's like, I couldn't have planned that. I had actually given up after wasting all this stress for several hours inside of me. But you know what? That's what happens. You get to decide with what's going on out there, what it's going to be like inside of me. There was this little girl walking outside in a thunder and lightning storm with her mom, and the thunder would go, and this little girl would stop and smile. And then this lightning would come, and she'd go again. There would thunder, and she would stop. She'd just smile. And mom finally said, "What are you doing? Why are you stopping and smiling?" She said, "Can't you see God's taking pictures of me?" Right? You get to decide with what's going on in your life. What am I going to do with it? That's why you want to have that greater perspective, that mountaintop perspective, and be able to look at your life and say, am I going to give my power away to this? Why is it that we insist on so much doubt and limitations in our world? I'm going to hedge my bet. You know, I've got to protect myself. You know, people design their life around doubt, you know, that I'm going to protect it. I'm not going to lose it. I'm going to gain it, hold it, and defend it. I'm not going to allow myself to get hurt. You know what? I want you to be able to realize there is a big emergence of the Spirit of God that is inside of you, and you've got to be willing to know that you're in a co-creative expression with the divine, and life is going to continue to give you the challenger that holds you accountable to see if you are willing to listen to that. I would rather listen to the big me and fail than not even try at all. You know, it's I would rather be in the doghouse than the dollhouse in my life. I don't want to be there with the small me, the small self, you know, the small s. Oh, got to be careful with that pronunciation. The smallness, the small s. You know, I want to listen to the big S of my being and listen to that big S of who I am and put that out in the world and be willing to go for that. But it comes from developing your ability to hear and to feel the big S of yourself. It's willing to understand how the Spirit communicates to you, through you, with the vision, with the sense, with the feel, with the sight. We're all different. You can't say you're going to hear it like I hear it. You may feel it or sense it or imagine it. There's not a right way. James Von Prague, he said it so eloquently. We gave everyone, did you get this when you came in? The Life Connection magazine, we just kind of stoked. We got the big ad on the back page of James being here. But there was this wonderful interview that our very own Amelia Lee, she wrote, and she interviewed him, and she asked, hey, when Spirit comes to you, James, do you see it? Do you hear it? Do you feel it? I mean, how do you get this download from the divine? I thought that was kind of a curious question. He said, well, in the earth realm, you know, we're all different. You know, some are more visual, some are more auditory. Well, it's the same also in the spiritual world. Some are more emotional, so they are more clairsentient or emotional. They feel more, they sense more. Every single person is clairsentient. But it first comes as a feeling. But sometimes there's a blend here, and you get the clairaudience where you hear it. Or I tell them to speak to me in my thoughts so I can feel it, I can sense it. Tell me your name or the death condition or the age that you crossed over or some specific information. And what I do is I open up to what the Spirit wants to communicate, and it will happen in a blend of those three different forms. So what it's saying here to me is that it can come any way to you. What you want to do is develop your ability to feel it, to sense what Spirit's working on communicating to you, to tell you, or it may come as that vision. Now, I've shared with you before when I got a call for the ministry. You know, I went into school ministry at 19, and it was late 70s, and I was 19, and I had gone down to New Zealand. I was hanging out on the South Island at Mount Cook, staying in a youth hostel, waiting for the storms to clear off the Tasman Glacier so I could go skiing. And I was the only one in the youth hostel. I was lonely, and it was quiet, and all I had was Ernest Holmes' book, This Thing Called You. And I remember him talking about seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And one of the days I was out in the storm. I still can remember this big rock I was sitting in to buffer me from the storm. I was sitting there in meditation. It was kind of weird, I know, but I was there. And all of a sudden, what came before me was the image of Christian, like me, 30 years later, standing on a stage like this with the lights in my face and above and below, and all of you sitting out there. And it was as if I saw this mature Christian of 30 years later who was communicating with a 19-year-old and saying, see this vision, feel it, sense it, remember this, and just follow the path that takes you there. So that's pretty cool. But what's even stranger about it is that 30 years later, I can remember standing here one morning with all of you, and all of a sudden the periphery kind of dissolves away, and all that is left is like this tunnel vision, and there I am looking at that 19-year-old, sharing this wisdom of, stick to it, stay on that path, keep going. And now I'm not sure, is it me now looking at the young Christian, or is it the young Christian looking back at the mature me, or is it the mature me looking at the young Christian looking back at the mature me who's looking at the young Christian sitting there? I'm not sure which one it was, but what I know happened in that moment was that young kid then gave me a piece of information. He said, Christian, don't you ever lose that adventuresome spirit of yours. You remain passionate, enthusiasm, and follow the joy in your life. And that was... And so what was fun is that from that 19-year-old, I had the vision I gave myself that I followed, for 30 years. But what is now amazing is I have this vision from the young kid who has told me to continue to follow the joy and the passion and the adventuresome spirit. And so I now have that vision that is pulling me into the greater experience from the young kid. What did he know? But time dissolves. And how do you explain that? You can't. You've got to be willing and be open to that kind of experience, which is why I invite people to listen to their own self and make themselves accountable for the emergence of something. And if this was one of my prosperity classes, one of the exercises I run is I ask you to think of an individual that you admire, or several individuals. And what are the qualities about this? You can pull out a pen and write this and do this at home if you want, or you can remember it. But and so I have you write down the people that you admire. His Holiness Dalai Lama. I really admire his kindness and his boldness and his willing to face big adversity. My dad, who just represents a sense of dignity and presence. And so you got that. You can think this through too. I'm not going to give you a lot of time with it. And then what I have you do is to think of someone or several individuals whose skills you admire, or their talents. Their character, what is it, their abilities that they have? Like Mother Teresa, oh my goodness, she's willing to go in the poorest of poor spots. The great thinkers of like Einstein, or the inventors of Jobs or Gates. You got that? And then to think of someone, of these individuals, and what is it about their story that really catches you? And what is that story? You got that? What is it about this person who is willing to face adversities, who went to the mountaintop and then came back and said, I had a vision? Work with that. Because I want you to understand that what's coming to you is what you resonate to. Otherwise, that's why you're coming up with it. I came up with something different. You've come up with something. What is it that you're resonating to? And what I want you to also understand is that that's part of who you are. In the musical realm, they have sympathetic resonance going on. You hit a drum, and all the drums will kind of vibrate at that level. Max hits a chord on the piano, anything that has that vibration, they all go. Tuning fork, all the ones that are C, if you hit a C, go. The violinist in the violin pit, or the orchestra pit, she plays one of the strings, and all the violin strings down there begin to resonate or vibrate with that vibration. You take the string off one of those violins and play, and that violin doesn't play because there's no match there. What I want you to get is that there is a match, and that you need, and life's going to hold you accountable to that. If we were in the workshop, I would have you turn to the person next to you, share that something that you are, and then have you stand up and go, yeah, and shake your body and get into it and have a lot of fun and claim it as your truth, and then set up an accountability partner. That person is checking in. Are you living it? Are you doing it? Are you making it happen? What is it that you have got that you can be held accountable for? You may remember a few years ago, I did a whole year on 52 timeless truths for transformation. I told you I was going to make these cards. Well, I never did. But now we got this communication strategist, Kat, here, who heard that I wanted to make these cards, and every time I see her, says, so how are you doing with those cards? I was like, I got 30 left I need to do. But if I was to do one a day, I could have it done in a month. So you got to have a vision, but a vision without a plan is a fantasy. And you can have a plan, but a plan without a schedule is just a wish list. And now I realize, well, I do one a day, I'm going to have it done in 30 days. If you have an accountability partner who puts it in your face, it's like, oh my goodness, yes, I'm going to do that. So what I want you to do is take these qualities when you go home and do this work, if you didn't just do it now, put that up there and take the names off the top of that piece of paper with the qualities, the abilities, the skills, and the stories that you just so resonate with, and put your name across the top. I want you to put that name across the top, and I want you to read it every day and say, this is who I am. Not this is who I'm going to be, but this is who I am. Use that as your affirmation, but it's not really for you. You know, it's affirmation. It needs to be from you. This is who I am. So I want it to be an affirmation, if you would. I don't know if anyone's ever used that term before, but now I want it to be an affirmation because this is the truth of who I am. And what I want you to get is that life supports you in being that, doing that, and expressing that in your life. Life loves you. And you're the one who has to say, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to knock at the door. Remember I said knock and it'll open. I mean, you ever go to somebody's house? You go up on the front porch, go to the front door, and you just stand there. Anybody going to open the door? I'm waiting. You got to knock. You got to let it be known. You got to proclaim and declare it and affirm from it. You know, and then amazing miracles happen. Did you see that video that went viral this week from some singing show with Simon Cowell on it? You see it? Marv, you want to run it? Because I grabbed it. Let's do a little bit of this. Anything is possible.
Hello.
I don't think that's quite the look we're looking for, Tim.
And
I don't think so.
My interpreter.
Oh, forget
What's
it.
your name?
Let's cut it. You guys don't get to see it. Marv, can you run it? No, going. Oh, that's fine. I got a bunch of other stuff in my head. You wouldn't believe what's going on in there. Okay, so where was I going to go with that? I don't know, but let's see. So we just get comfortable in our pattern with who we are. We just get comfortable in, hey, come back next week. I'll show it to you. But so yeah, we get comfortable with who we are in the pattern where we are, and all of a sudden, because of my comfort, I have this resistance of expanding and growing and stretching in this new way. But life's going to hold you accountable. It's going to keep putting it in your face. It's going to keep showing you that hey, you've got to do something here. And but you know, remember, I don't know if you remember, but I'll use the analogy in kindergarten. You know, you're comfortable with kindergarten. First grade was not like a comfortable kind of concept. You didn't really want to necessarily go, you may have wanted to go into first grade, but it wasn't like your comfort zone. And college, well, that was Pluto. Well, in our life, when we have these visions and these realms of possibilities, they seem so far out there. What we've got to do is begin to recognize, you know what? I can step into what it is I need to do in my life and my world. I need to be able to say yes to that something because I am the portal. These dreams and these visions that are coming through me are the portal or the avenue or the path that I get to walk in this life. This is my curriculum. This is the where I am going. This is how I am going. And this following, it's right that you succeed at what it is you love to do. There's nothing that says you need to spend your life doing something you are miserable at. You know, you get to choose. You can be in the resistance and doubt it. I need to protect. I got to be comfortable. Or you can say, you know what? I'm going to stretch. I'm going to rub the head of that that Kodiak, and I'm going to know that spirit is going to download through me and bless my life here forward. And I'm going to have to face taking that step again. Everything I did prepared me for this moment, but it's all gone. I still need to take that step into the next place. I've got to have the faith. The Course in Miracles says that you can put your faith in faith or your faith in the faithless, but either way, you're going to put your faith somewhere. Where are you going to put your faith? I would say, put it in God as you expressing. And what you'll come to discover is you will have the courage to rub the head of that Kodiak or the scariest thing that you're looking. You're going to be willing to let go of the comfort that you're used to because what lies before you is grander than anything that small S has you in that dollhouse doing. That big S, that big expression of you, who you are, is desiring to come out, and you are co-creating with that infinite spirit. You are in a partnership, and you have a portal and a time and a moment in which you get to step forth and to bring forth your gift to this world. And I'll tell you what, we're all waiting for it. God bless you.
Okay, let's keep it going as we bring Brasura back to our stage.
All right, I feel like I'm the next contestant.
All right,
I'm here.
you got it.
Oh man, that was so great. So, just breathing that in, that was an amazing talk, as always. Let's take a deep breath. And let that out. So this next song that I'm going to share with you is an original song entitled, Your Heart, God's Hands. And what I'm saying is that with your heart and God's hands, all things are possible. Yes? Yes. Anybody tell me why a child has no food? Can anybody say that there's nothing we can do when your heart and God's hands are so strong? Can anybody say that there isn't enough? His well overflows, but she can't fill her cup. But with your voice and with your love, this can change. So come on and sing. Take your heart in God's hands. I know we can lead the way. Your heart in God's hands. Hey, I know we can win. Can anybody tell me that we can live as one? See, the universe is ready for man's next evolution, where people are fed today with all needs met in every way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Take your heart in God's hands. And I know we can lead the way, yeah. With your heart in God's hands. See, I know we can win. Let me tell you something now. Wherever you are in the world today, know that someone is loving you. Know that someone is praying for you. Know that someone cares for you. No matter what it may look like, someone is by your side. Yeah, 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 yeah. Somebody needs to hear this over here. Wherever you are in the world today, know that someone is loving you. Know that someone is praying for you. Know that someone cares for you. No matter what it may look like, someone is by your side. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Give me a little bit more.
That is Brashira with great harmonies with Rebecca. Woo. Wow. All right. Oh, my, oh, my. Hey, this is the time of our service where we have the opportunity to unite together in our givingness and the sharing of our love and our offering, to take that gift from our heart and know that it is coming from a deep place. It is honoring the presence of God that brings the love and the good and the big self into expression. And as I choose to practice what I know is true in my life, being part of that wonderful circulation, what happens is Spirit shows up. If I only talk about it, think about it, that's not it. I need to be in that wonderful flow with actual expression. So as I give in supporting Spirit's work, what I find is Spirit supporting its work as my life, as your life. And so know that the divine is manifesting as you right now. And with that, I want to invite our ushers to come forward and say just thank you to this wonderful team. Thank you to those that mail in your contributions. Bless you for those that practice the auto tithe, that regular systematic support from your world. It's that regularity is a huge help at Seaside. And those of you that are at home with the live streaming, we know you're there. We love you. We appreciate you. And we thank you for your wonderful gifts and emails and letters that we receive. And so with that, I share this prayer of appreciation with the most generous of spiritual communities, knowing that the divine blesses this moment through each and every one of us. For we become that avenue and that vortex of the emergence of that infinite taking form as our very life through our action and activity. And being that wonderful expression of God, we move forth in loving this and being this and say, thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this opportunity to be part of the affluent flow of life. And so it is. Amen. And together, let us say this affirmation of abundance, which is, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully, I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. Guys from Seaside, rocking the house in the Seaside way. So as I stand before this bounty, I can feel the outpouring of love and the caring and the compassion that's come from the heart and soul of each and every one of us that are present. For together we have created this bounty, and for each we have given from that place of just caring and loving and support, knowing that truly that's something that stretches us his just spirit creating greater space for the greater good. So I know right now that this gift that has been made in love, it has been received in love, and is handled with good stewardship, and it's put forth back into motion and action, bringing the love and the joy to everyone that comes in contact. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this moment to be part of the divine flow of abundance. And so it is. Amen. All right. Hey, this is Richard Drutman. He is your board vice president here, and heading up the ticket sales with Karen for Von Prague. You told me we did over 400. Whew, that's good. So, oh my goodness, Brashira, you are just so wonderful, and you're beautiful. Your soul, your spirit, your movement. Always a joy to have you here. And Rebecca, always a joy to have you home here at Seaside. And I understand you sing around all over the place, but tickets went on sale, I understand, to our house concert. Callie's opening up our home for a house party and concert for you in July, huh? So. That is. There's only she's only getting like 40 tickets, so it's going to be real close to be wonderful.
Nice.
Looking forward
really
to it. Dr. Christina, a joy. And hey, I know you've got the good doctors coming in to teach people how to have fun losing weight. Right. So 12:45, right in there. Giving us sound today is Ed and Steve and Marv. Thank you so much for what it is you do, and Tim behind the camera. We just appreciate you guys, and know that there's CDs available right after the service. Also after the service, Ronit is doing her class on walking in the footsteps of the masters based on her book, so you may want to go be part of that if you're not having fun losing weight. Also, Carrie Lake, wherever you are, I know she is starting, and we're not calling it a singles group, we're calling it a relationship connection kind of group, but they're having their organizing, oh, there you are, organizing party the 25th of June. So we're stepping into that expression again, and we're getting a crowd together to go to these park concerts and all sorts of things. So Enhancing Connection, 25th, there's planning. Monday night, Deep is starting his bowl meditation. Tuesday night, Ginny is doing her wonderful class on meditation is more than you think. And Saturday is the men's breakfast group going on. There is so much happening at Seaside, but the exciting good news that is happening right here is our young ones are graduating from whatever particular grade it is. And we have a bag of diplomas from the head of our youth and family ministry. And I just want to say before I'm going to give them, you're going to talk, but I just want to say that graduation is huge and monumental, and we are excited for you. Also, beginning and commencing on a new grade is huge and monumental and significant. But also, I want to remind you, every day between the beginning of the new grade and the end of that grade is a day we're celebrating. So you don't have to wait 9 months to go, yeah! But every day that you're journeying in this life is a joy, it's a celebration, it is enthusiastic and passionate. It's all about your attention. So there you go. So I take these and, no? Okay. I will.
It's just because I don't know which one's going to come up first.
Okay. I'll hug them all. All right.
We're going to hug the kids.
Okay, I'll get on this side, and you can hand them those.
Okay. So, kids, what we're going to do is when I call your name, you're going to come up here. And adults, if you could help the little ones come up when I call their name. And they're just going to come and get their little diploma. Everyone's going to, like, watch them. And parents, if you are back further and you want to get a picture of the child getting their little diploma or their hug from Reverend Christian. And
let's do it.
Ashaya, come on over here really quick. Okay. All right. We have Adam Bundy first. Come on up.
Hey, Adam.
So Adam Bundy
You're the man.
is finishing Mommy and Me.
All right.
There you go. Bring him through here. Next, we
All right,
have
Adam, Andrew 5, man.
Nathan
Good job.
Bird.
All right.
Nathan.
Good.
I'm just meeting Nathan for the first time today. So here you go, Nathan. He was so sweet, he offered to give out the little diplomas. That's how nice he is. And Nathan is finishing 6th grade.
Nice job.
Next we have Ramon.
Hey, Ramon.
Come here, Ramon. So here's your diploma. And you, young man, are completing TK and he knows his letters and numbers now.
Nice job, Ramon. Woo.
Go on over to Christian. Go see Christian. Next, we have Cooper Hambrick. Come on up, Cooper. Cooper has completed 6th grade. He's going into 7th, and Cooper loves baseball and golf.
Golf. Oh, my.
Congratulations.
There you go, cute.
Next, we have Zoe. Come on up, Zoe.
All right.
Okay, Zoe completed 5th grade. So obviously she's going into 6th. And all of you can see she has a contagious smile.
Uh-huh. Nice job, Zoe.
Asia, come on up. Our beautiful Asia has completed 6th grade. So middle school, right? Is this your 2nd year? Yeah. Congratulations.
Go easy. Great name.
Thank you. Oh, that's for someone we don't know. Next, we have Noah Bundy. Come on up, Noah. Noah, did you complete TK? Yeah. So are you going into kindergarten? Not yet? What comes after TK, Dad? Kindergarten's next, guys. Give it up.
All right. There you go, Noah.
Delby, come on up. So Delby is extra special because he is in the middle of homeschooling 3rd grade, correct? Yeah. Give it up for Delby.
All right.
And I also heard today from Mom that you are an expert Lego builder. Is that true?
Nice.
Yeah. So go ahead and come through. Next, we have Araya.
Nice job.
There you are. Here she comes. So, Araya has completed 1st grade, right? And you guys, Araya is a motivational speaker. Tell everybody.
You're incredible, everyone.
All right, all right.
Okay, next we have Isaiah Seacrest. So Isaiah is one of my 7 grandkids. Woohoo!
Hey.
And he completed 5th grade, going into middle school. And I love him so much.
Oh.
And my kids
Way to
are
go,
with me for the
Isaiah.
month. So if I'm really busy, that's why I have 3 grandkids here. And Ashaya Seacrest. Guess what? This one's mine too.
Uh-huh.
She has completed 9th grade, going into 10th grade.
That's you. Woo. Nice going.
She's my soulmate. He's my rainbow. Sydney Bird, come on up. I'm meeting Sydney for the first time today too. So, and these 2 girls are in the same grade, so it's really awesome. So you've completed 9th also, going into 10th grade. And I don't know what's special about you besides she's offered to like help out with the kids already. So
That's good. Oh, good to go.
next we have Annabelle Stearns. Annabelle has completed 3rd grade, and she's going into 4th grade. And you know what's cool about her? She is a professional surfer.
Nice. There you go.
Sunny Stearns, come on up. This is Sunny, and she has completed 1st grade, going into 2nd, and she is an incredibly creative individual. She can do anything with her hands.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, yeah, my dance buddy.
Redford Stearns, come on up. Come on. He said he's good at building, everybody.
That's it.
Yep. And he's finished his first year of preschool, and he's going to be doing his second year of preschool. And he has a contagious smile.
Yeah, he does.
Look at everybody. Look out there. Here. So get your treat. Give Reverend Christian a hug. Okay, Kayla, come on up. Yeah, Kayla. Kayla has completed 7th grade, going into 8th, and what do I say about you? I love her.
That's it.
She's like an incredible individual who shines at everything she does.
Hey.
And did I
thanks for all
get
your
everybody out there? If I did, give me a hand.
Hey, the graduating class of 2017. And you're taking a consciousness in the world that gives us faith in the future that we are in good hands for sure. And so what I want to do right now is create a little goodie for you. So Gourmets for God, the last one we're doing here, it's a chop contest. I never had a clue what that meant. But real quickly, there's going to be a competition is what I understand from the first service. And Tasha Manzano has headed up this Gourmets for God for the last couple months. She has brought together 18 wonderful offerings. And keep talking.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
We have 18 adventures that you could come and partake in. So come back and see me and my tribe at our tables and have some fun. Just like Trudy said, this is a great way for you to bond and be with other people and just have really good time. We have everything from murder mystery night over at Callie and Christian's house. I'm doing a barbecue down at the beach in Del Mar. We have fireworks, there's sailboat trips, there's backyard barbecues, there's all kinds of great things. So with adventure in mind, we're going to do a fun adventure for Gourmets for God. So what I'm going to do is, has anybody here seen Chopped? Yeah. You guys have seen Chopped, right? So it's fun, right? And everyone gets to do things and it's timed. So what I've got is I have 2 cakes up here that need to be decorated. And we all know when we're throwing a party and we're hosting an event, you also have to have, it set up. You decorate, you have your flowers. I have 2 empty vases here, and the flowers are in a white bucket towards the end of the aisle right here. So I'm going to look for 2 volunteers to come up and play with me, and we're going to do this really fast. So who's game? Who would like to play with me?
Hey, look at kids.
I have kids that want to play? I can take kids. All right, you got to help me pick.
Okay. Well, oh, man, I can't. Rebecca, you pick.
Boy versus girl.
There you go. Now we're cutting it down.
All right. All right.
Okay, here we go. I got to tell
Arrived.
you what, that bland apron didn't work very well at the last service. I wore it, so
All right, so
I don't know
let's
how
get your
creative that
aprons
one
on.
is.
Okay.
Hey, we had one that didn't get a graduation certificate. Who's this?
This is
Maya. Congratulations. What grade are you graduating from? Preschool. Well, give me a hug. Yeah. Congratulations, Maya. You gotta do this in 3 minutes or less.
Ready, go.
Go.
Talk to me, baby. I'm going blind from this sweet, sweet craving. Oh,
Oh, go,
lose
Rebecca.
our minds and go crazy, crazy. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Keep on hoping we'll eat cake by the ocean. Whoa, find me, baby. I'll be near you, Miami. Oh, let's lose our minds and go crazy, crazy. Ay, 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 ay. Keep on hoping we'll eat cake here at Seaside. Oh.
All right.
Way to go. Graduation cake for everyone. I'm going to pray us out of here real quick. And go sign up for a Gourmets for God. Today is it. It's all over. You're getting a call from Tasha this afternoon or tomorrow. If you won the bidding, they're like all full, so you got to outbid whoever's below you. But I'll tell you what, the cake, there'll be some waiting for you as soon as I'm done praying. So feel the power of the presence after you give these guys a big round of applause one more time. Go. And I invite any of our religious science practitioners to stand so we can feel that power and that presence and the fun and the joy. We never lose sight that it is Spirit first always. And what I know right now is that divine presence is moving in the house. Through each and every one of us can feel the power, that life force, that something that is indescribable, but it is so real, it's so palpable that it moves and has its expression as our very thoughts. And so our mind gives way to the emergence of that greater possibility of spirit. And in the realization of this divine frequency and this vibration and this new vision, this clairsentient, this feeling, this clairaudience, this hearing, there's a sense of the realization of the truth of who we are. And anything unlike that fades away into the nothingness from which it came. So lift into this space anything you might be working on. And allow Spirit to have its way. For it moves right here, right now, and shows up in our life in ways that are relevant and real. Any meetings that we might be having this week are divinely ordained. It is the Spirit of God that expresses and is seen right there, and the truth is known, and the perfect unfoldment has its way. And we live with a sense of joy and fulfillment in our life. The body is the natural responsive expression of the clean consciousness of the whole expression of the divine. And in the emergence of the physical form, anything unlike Spirit fades and is purged out and is obliterated, is gone. And what remains is that divine frequency of well-being. I'm grateful to know this and feel that wealth, that affluent flow of life. Knowing that Seaside continues to grow and thrive as we look at these wonderful, graduating, emerging children, that we are truly on a beautiful trajectory of greater good for this planet. I know every prayer request brought forth to our awareness is done and is healed. For our beloved Solange, we know right now that right where she is, the presence of God is moving through her body so perfectly, and that healing is natural, it's comfortable, it's swift, and it is perfect. And she emerges a vibrant expression of life that we know her to be. So grateful to know we have family, we have tribe, we have success, we have caring, we have compassion. I say thank you. I just say thank you for the healing, the shift in ways that are real for each of us. Because Spirit is prevalent, I need not articulate and name what it is for it to do, but rather I am receptive. And I come from that as that here and now. And I find the courage to face down whatever it is and take that final step into that self-expression. This I am grateful for, to have family. The words I've expressed, they're the truth, they're happening. I'm willing to let go. Allow Spirit to have its way in this moment. So it is.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. And this is what you have to say. Come on, Seaside. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. Said no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. Said no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Come on, Seaside, sing it from your heart. And I let go. Yeah. I let the Spirit run my life. That's right. And my heart is open That's what I'm talking about, Seaside. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yeah.
And our affirmation for the week is, I live in alignment with what's true of my soul. Together, I live in alignment with what's true of my soul. Touch your heart and say it again. I live in alignment with what's true to my soul. One more time like you mean it. Now that you got it, I live in alignment with what's true to my soul. And our song of grace.
I'm living in love. I'm living in peace. I'm living my life for what I believe, through joys and through fears. In this world I walk, God's grace shines on me, and it shines on us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We're living in love. We're living in peace. United we stand as one family. We honor all truth as together we walk. God's grace moves through me, and it moves through us all. We are living in grace. 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 Have a wonderful week, Seaside. See you next Sunday.